Welcome to the Stock Talk Vodcast. This video podcast is part of our CEO interview series, where our mission is to help listeners and investors understand more about investment opportunities in the capital markets. I'm Dave Jackson. We're just about smack dab in the middle of New Year's resolution time, and millions of North Americans are committing to a healthier lifestyle or just trying to shed a few pounds. BC-based Naturally Splendid Enterprises Limited is a manufacturer of plant-based functional foods, part of one of the planet's most booming industries. The company produces its own successful house brands and boasts a roster of contract manufacturing clients spanning retail and food service. Naturally Splendid provides research and development and product development focused on plant-based ingredients. We're excited to be joined today by Naturally Splendid CEO and Director Craig Goodwin to catch up on NSP's flurry of announcements, its one-of-a-kind business model, and how they're positioning themselves to become a prime beneficiary in the plant-based food marketplace while working hard in the fight against COVID-19. Thank you very much for joining us today, Craig, and a belated Happy New Year to you, sir.
A belated Happy New Year to you, and thank you very much for having us here today.
Always our pleasure, Craig. Now, for our investor audience that might be new to Naturally Splendid Enterprises, can you tell us a bit about yourself and the history of the company?
Absolutely. So Naturally Splendid is where I'll start. Was formed in 2010. We went public in 2013. So the feature with that is we were the first hemp company, certainly in North America, to go public with just a hemp-specific product. Also, I think to connect that to today, I think people will understand now hemp as a plant is a nutritional powerhouse. The most digestible protein of any plant on earth. It's a perfect ratio of omega-3 and omega-6 for optimum human health. This is according to the World Health Organization. So in essence, we were plant-based before the rest of the world caught up to know that plant-based was healthy for you. For myself, I took that, my background in marketing with the Jim Pattison Group and advertising. I leveraged that to a career in the capital markets. So it's the combination of capital markets and sales, marketing, advertising background. And my business partner, Brian Carson, who has a retail background as well. That was the beginning, the formation of Naturally Splendid. And this is, it's been our passion. It's been our goal to bring plant-based nutrition to the market since day one.
Craig, given the challenges presented by the COVID-19 global pandemic, Naturally Splendid enjoyed a remarkable 2020 and reached several milestones. How did you achieve it?
You know what? It was, I'll tell you, through great personnel at our facility. We are very lucky to have great employees here that take their job very seriously. We are a safe quality food manufacturing facility. So we're certified safe quality food. It's a very high level of certification, assuring our clients and our customers, and in fact, our workers, that it's a very safe environment producing safe, efficacious foods. We operate, I know people ask me about GMP. GMP comes under the umbrella of SQF. We know some people understand HACCP, which is a hazard program, a reduction in hazard. That comes underneath SQF. So we already operated at a very high level of SOPs to make sure our facility was safe. So adding in additional SOPs to in response to the COVID pandemic, not that it was easy, but our staff is trained to follow a very high protocol. I will say that the first couple of months, while we were all trying, including our health departments, trying to understand the repercussions and exactly how it was transmitted, were concerning. We stopped production several times to make sure that our facility was safe, our products were safe, and as important that our employees were safe. So the first few months through COVID, it was much like the rest of the world. You know, we're not anything special from that. We weren't separated. It was scary times. But we began to continue to push back and get our processes up and running. I think what really got us the momentum going again is the realization and for health and wellness. And this drove consumers to a plant-based diet. So even though we saw the trends in the global market, and even though that as when we founded the company, this was our objective, this pandemic has driven the attention to diet to the forefront for most consumers more than ever before. And I think it's irrefutable that a plant-based diet has health benefits. Now people are understanding that a plant-based diet, in addition to the health benefits you're receiving, also have incredible environmental impacts that positively affect the world we live in.
Oh, 100% there. Now, Craig, can you update us on some very recent big news, the exclusive sales and distribution agreement with the Australian plant-based nutritional company, Better Life Global Food Solutions?
I sure can. Better Life is a long-term strategic partner of ours. We began exporting Natera branded hemp to them in 2017. In fact, we were the first branded hemp-based product on the shelves outside of our local brand that was in Australia. So we were the first international brand. We've grown that relationship since 2017. I think this is very key because this is not a new relationship. We understand each other's strengths and we know how to work with each other to get the best possible results. But now we are the ones importing the products. These our manufacturing partners are an extremely successful group in Australia. They understand global expansion. They reached out to us late last year, asked us if we were interested in carrying this line exclusively in Canada. Of course, we jumped at that chance. We also have distribution opportunities into the United States with ongoing discussions on how we might be able to even tighten up that agreement. Currently, we're focused on the Canadian market, as you said, with an exclusive agreement. This is not a new relationship, and I think that's the foundation for a successful line moving forward.
Well, Craig, what are the core benefits of the deal?
You know, basically, we offer more SKUs, more items, more entrees than practically anybody else, I'm going to say in North America and possibly globally. Right now, we have 20 different entrees that we are starting to roll out into the market through e-commerce, through food service and retail. We have another 20 that we will be introducing continually over time to provide always new interest and new products for our consumers to try. So our single biggest advantage is the range of products that we have is so extensive, it can certainly meet any palate out there. Replacement for the gambit, whether it be beef or pork or fish or chicken or even seafood. We have a product that can replace or be an alternative to that sort of diet that you may be more used to.
Can you tell us a bit more about the Canex Foods deal to distribute Naturally Splendid's Natera plant-based foods?
Yeah, I sure can.
Yeah, it sounds fantastic.
You know what? I think this is key, like to where the whole industry is going. Mm-hmm. You know, we talk about, animals or meat. I prefer to call it, animal protein. And what we're introducing now to the world is plant-based protein. So this is an evolution of the way our diets are changing. So Canex has traditionally been, for the last 35 years, an animal protein distribution company. And they're national, coast to coast here in Canada. What they have recognized is that their clients, their consumers, are now asking about plant-based protein. So this is a whole new opportunity, a market that is developing right in front of us currently. And we have associated ourselves with a coast-to-coast distributor of animal proteins who can now offer the Natera plant-based protein as an alternative to their traditional offerings. I think this is key. This is where the market is going, and it can complement and service that flexitarian market.
Well, great segue into the next question. Speaking of distribution, with all your new distributors and now the Cisco Canada BC division listing your products, all of this sounds amazingly exciting.
It really is. And we're trying to build a diverse distribution network. So we have distribution in retail, in food service. Of course, we have our e-commerce at naterafoods.com. So it's very important to balance your distribution network with a wide variety of channels. And of course, Cisco Canada, the BC division, Cisco overall is recognized as one of the world's largest food service companies. So certainly the upside potential of expanding opportunity with Cisco as we become successful in each region could be pivotal for the success of Naturally Splendid.
Well, Craig, as you mentioned a little bit earlier, the company has a huge range of plant-based product offerings. What are some of the highlights investors may be especially interested in these products?
You know, we do have a wide range. And I hear our investors or people who take a look at the company and ask for a little bit of clarity around it. And I can put it very simply. Naturally Splendid has been and always will be a plant-based company. We've looked at a number of opportunities for plant-based, and in this regard, we purchased a manufacturing facility called ProSnack Natural Foods. We moved them from their location in North Vancouver to the present facility right now in Pitt Meadows. This is the SQF, Safe Quality Food certification that I've referred to earlier. With that, we have produced a number of our own brands, including our Natera Keto Life Bar. That was a bar for the keto diet. Within 6 weeks, we were at a couple of thousand stores. The brand Woods Wild is a mushroom fortified bar, obviously plants. And when we purchased ProSnack, they actually had a very successful brand. Many of our consumers obviously know. A lot of our investors are aware of Elevate Me. This has been in the Canadian market for well over a decade. Once again, primarily plant-based. So we have a great range of nutritious plant-based bars and bites, but that extended to our sports line. And this is, understandably where some of the confusion could come in, because now we talk about an anti-inflammatory product called ProCurc 30, which is a curcumin-based extract. And this is a patented technology that delivers more anti-inflammatory results than practically any other curcumin extract out there. The products are medically researched, they're peer-reviewed, they're published in medical journals. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency became aware of our ProCurc 30, and they wanted to see the scientific data supporting the results that we were claiming, to which we sent them. They then introduced us to Health Canada. And Health Canada then helped us bypass a phase 1 clinical trial because we have no adverse events. So our product is already safe. And they fast-tracked us to a phase 2 clinical trial. These phase 2 clinical trials sometimes takes years to get into. And this phase 2 clinical trial is specifically for a treatment for COVID-19. So I want to be clear, not a cure, not a vaccine, but a way to mitigate the acceleration of health conditions that put you into the ICU and, heaven forbid, worse. So if we can find a way to protect the public from ending up in the ICU beds, then we can, in fact, begin to open up the economy more. So Naturally Splendid began with the most simplest of foods you could possibly imagine, hemp, which has been around for thousands of years with the nutritional profile. And now we have advanced all the way to a clinical trial using a plant-based extract. And every one of those steps along the way has been all about plant-based. So I would say one of our most exciting things is that very soon to start phase 2 clinical trial with our development.
Craig, what's your long-term corporate advantage and what makes your business model different from the competition?
I think because we've been plant-based since the very beginning. We've looked at many opportunities. We've gained a lot of expertise, a lot of experience in this segment. The networks that we have built to this point are invaluable, and they've all been specific to the plant-based opportunity. So we're not new to this dance. We've been here for a while. We were one of the pioneers in plant-based nutrition. We just focused on a single product. As the market evolved, we evolved with it, and we've built our team around that, and we have become experts in plant-based nutrition.
Can you tell our audience a little bit about your corporate management team, along with their experience and innovative ideas that they bring to the good foods and health and wellness industry?
I sure can. And I think it starts, as I identified earlier, with personnel. And we're very fortunate to have a great group of employees here. right from our production team and our sanitation teams, which are all very specialized. But I don't think it is even more specialized is what it takes to be a successful sales consultant in this market today, especially with the challenges of COVID that have been ongoing. Our director of sales, Rick Lum, has had over 35 years in the food service industry with some of the largest companies in the world. His experience in plant-based nutrition is almost unparalleled. You know, he has 35 years of experience in food industry. Since 2016, he focused on plant-based products. He came to Naturally Splendid just over a year ago, and he brought his network of also professionals. And we have been able to leverage those relationships of 35 years and really get to the front of the line. So Rick has selected a group of distributors and, in fact, consultants like the Northridge Sales Group, who also have extensive expertise specifically to plant-based nutrition. And it's this this foundation of knowledge and contacts that is irreplaceable, and you can't replace with anything but time. So the amount of time that they've invested in their careers is our certainly advantage moving forward.
Craig, are you able to update investors on the Plasm joint venture and the clinical trial for caveltinib as a COVID-19 treatment?
I can. And our readers, our followers will know that we have been approved for a phase 2 clinical trial. This obviously, when you start administering medicines to test subjects, the amount of documentation and preparation and protocols to carry it out are extensive, and they should be. So from the point of getting permission to proceed with our phase 2 clinical trial, an enormous amount of work has gone on behind the scenes. First of all, interviewing prospective companies that help you conduct these studies. So I can say that that process has gone extremely well. We look forward to providing an update in the very near future in the selection who will be carrying out these studies for us. Once the study begins, we expect that study to take approximately 5 weeks and then about a 2-week break for it to analyze the data that we've collected. So we have our approval. We are now down to the final decision making to a team that we will, or a company we will select, who will help us conduct the trials. And then after that, it's a 5 to 7 week time period until we have the results back that we can report to our investors, of course.
What can you tell our investor audience regarding the current valuation of your stock, Craig, and why you think it's such a good value buy right now?
Well, that we are, unfortunately, at historic lows for Naturally Splendid, or darn close to it. I think that the challenge with our capitalization really has been in the topic that we talked about, is that path that we took to where we are today. It looks like there were a lot of different decisions that we made, or that we had opportunities that we pursued. But I would like to remind our shareholders and prospective investors that it was always plant-based. So we believe that we are undervalued. I know that there's significant work ahead of us. We're aware of that, to make sure that we get that messaging out. The messaging will become far clearer when we begin to expand our distribution channels, that we can announce our retail partners, we can announce our food service, and I think that will be reflected in the capital markets.
Well, finally, Craig, looking down the road into 2021 for NSP, is there anything coming up investors should be keeping an eye out for?
I think that the overall plant-based market is going to continue to accelerate. It is growing faster than most traditional markets in the grocery segment. And I think that you will see a realization of what you eat certainly has an effect on your own personal health, and it's extending more to the health of the planet. And I think this combination of facts will continue to drive this industry. And I truly believe that Naturally Splendid is positioned exceptionally well with our wide range of offerings, our expertise over the last decade in this market. That combination all coming together, I think that the future has never looked brighter for Naturally Splendid.
I agree now. Craig, I just want to say thank you once again very much for joining us here at Stockhouse. Please stay well and stay safe.
Thank you, and same to you, to all your viewers. Please stay safe. Please stay safe. We look forward to hearing from you. We always appreciate this opportunity. So thank you very much for your time today as well.
Our pleasure, Craig. We have been speaking with company CEO and director, Craig Goodwin. I'd like once again to thank Craig for joining us and sharing this helpful and insightful information about his company with our Stockhouse video podcast listeners and investors. And as always, investors are reminded to do their own due diligence before making any investment decision. I'm Dave Jackson for Stockhouse Media and the Stock Talk Health and Wellness Vodcast. Thanks for watching.